I was there from 2015 till 2 years ago, right? Was it 2? Yeah, 2 years ago. And it started out pretty good. And I loved the training. It was really great. Went on ALC, was doing a lot of things. Basically, I was doing everything for free and not really getting any return, teaching constantly. And my son joined actually under you. My son left Keller Williams, went to EXP, and he kept telling me, you've got to come, you got to check this out. And I had pushed it off for so long. I mean, people had told me, and probably other people on this call may have felt the same way. I don't know. I was like, no, they're just, attracting agents that, I don't think anybody there does any production. I just was blocking it off because I thought, I'm really good here. I just had no idea the difference it would make in my life. So I had 13 pending transactions. My partner, who was the top profit share earner in that market center, he and I left on a Sunday night. He said, that's it. Packed everything up and went to EXP with 13 sales. Just, all we did is run around and, put our new EXP stickers on all the signs that were everywhere. And we came in and we said, we're just going to get into production. That was really our goal. Let's get into production. And little by little, I started to see like the stocks. I was so psyched. I mean, that was something to me, I call it my 401k. I don't even know what's going on. It just goes in there automatically. And I found that was amazing. We had a team, but we started to build a team here as well. We kind of restructured a little bit. And actually right now we're more building a group and not a team because it makes more sense. So for us, we kind of restructured a little bit and gave everybody their independence, but basically helping other agents. And in that sense, I'm trying to grow them because I see the difference that can make. With the team, we had a director of operations, transaction coordinator. We had some agents that came on our team, but it felt like we did a lot of the work. We were just in meetings and, let's say, we were just focused on building the team, but not really recruiting because we were just too inside. We had a operations person that was very, I think her mind was a little small. She wasn't really thinking as big as we were. So we kind of fit in her boss. We basically hired her to be our boss and we shrunk a little bit. And then, we decided we're going to go more of a group and help more people instead of staying with a tight, we had like 4 people on our team. They weren't producing quite as much. And so we decided to just open it up to more agents in a different way. And it's been better. And I mean, you might be able to see, I don't have a lot of people, but I've been attracting more people since we've changed and we went to more of a group setting. Yeah. So I think that's, personally, I have 11. I just had another one can't come over in my front line. And then I think there's 3 below there. I also have a Facebook page. It's called Scripts, Tips, and Coaching with Lisa Axios. I have about 240 agents that are on there, some from all over the place. So I started doing that in the beginning. And then the masterminds I would do at 8 o'clock on Monday mornings. And I started with how to become a person of influence, because that's what you want to be. You want to influence people, but that's basically more giving back and being, helping others. And that's how you become more of an influencer. So I started with that and asking questions. The most important thing I think ever is asking questions because people like to talk about themselves. So I put together an interview list that basically asks people. So this is from the mastermind. It turned into private conversations. And the private conversation started with, their dreams and what are their goals? What did they do in the past? What do they want to do? And by the time they were done telling me everything, they're like, I just want to follow you. I want to come and work with you. And it was just a template I began to use. And that was my secret sauce, I think, for getting some people over. I did it right before, because what happened is I taught scripts at Keller Williams during COVID.
Okay,
so
perfect.
So then when I switched, I put everything on to Facebook and decided to do the same thing. Inviting them, putting it out there, and other people shared it. Sometimes I just go through and invite people. I also promote events here. Like, we are in a shared office space, so we have a great spot for training, and I'll invite people for training. And I don't know, it just grew. It grew. I wish it would grow more, and I wish all of those people. It varies, I feel like I was really consistent for a bit, but I am not as consistent as I was. But I usually put a script up there. Sometimes I show myself. Sometimes I'll put something else that I think is of value on there. And sometimes I'll do a script practice with someone else or interview someone. And it's just been kind of all over the place. But people love it. They do say things all the time like, how do I get on there? Can you find me a script on blank? So they're always asking for scripts from all different brokerages. So I'm leaving it on the table, and I don't know why. I mean, here it is. It's like my database, right? And I'm kind of being too passive. I'm being too passive. Yeah. That's my problem. I admit it. I've been too passive, and sometimes I listen, and what do they say? Your ego gets in your way, right? But you get kind of, shy about asking somebody who you really think would benefit and who's probably doing amazing in this business. And I don't ask them. So I don't know why, but I need to turn that. So it's really cool because we just have, we rent this one small little spot that we have, but we have the use of 2 floors. So we've done some events here, especially, when we first came to EXP, it took us a couple of months. We had an amazing event, just, telling people where we went. And that was great. But we have a training room, and we will teach anything, like how to do an open house, or how to, have a great buyer consultation. So you have your clients sign right up, when they choose to work with you and only you. Listing presentations, or when you're at an open house, what are the 2 most things, what are the 2 best things you can say when you're there? Are you a neighbor looking, curious about the value of your house, or are you a buyer looking to buy? They have to choose one, right? So I'm a neighbor. Great. I can come over right afterwards at 4:00. When I'm done, I'll give you the value of your home, and that works. So I think, it's nice to have, a lot of what I do is scripts because I love them. That's what I learned. I learned scripts, got my first $1 million listing on the grass outside during a bold class, making the expired phone calls. And I was like, oh my God, now what do I do? So I love that. And if you can teach new agents that's the low hanging fruit. It's working again right now because things are expiring. There are some.
Yeah. Right now, expires is a great thing to be teaching on because stuff is expiring and people are just looking for additional ways to generate business. So
some of the other things, I just want to say one other thing that we do is we bring in attorneys who will come in and talk, or we bring in any kind of vendor. So that therefore they send other people as well. So having a vendor come in, they bring lunch and invite other agents, and they talk about things that are going to be relevant to your business.
How are you inviting agents to these events, to these masterminds?
I always put it on scripts and tips. We do some phone calls and emails, and we don't have the best turnout. I must say, we don't have the best turnout. We were very consistent for a bit, and then we were doing Friday afternoons. We were doing a Friday afternoon free coaching Fridays. And then it kind of mixed up because we brought in vendors who couldn't actually do those days. So we have to get back on that. Any suggestions for me?
Yeah, what comes to my mind is just, again, consistency. I was just thinking the biggest reason why this kind of stuff needs to be consistent is because you've had agents that have come to either your events in the group or your events at your office there, and they're like, this is great. I love what Lisa's teaching. This is helping me. And then it sounds like maybe there's been a couple months that have gone by where you haven't done anything, and then they forget about you. they're not plugged into what you're doing anymore. And then they're starting to think, well, I'm not getting a lot of value at my brokerage. And then they start looking, and then they join a different brokerage, or even though they're not that happy, they stay because they don't see a better option. But if you're consistent with delivering the content over time, you're in front of them every month, a couple times a month, when they're having doubts that, is this broker I'm with the best option for my career? And you're giving more value than the broker is, spending more time with them, you're consistent. That's when you start converting these people. It's like, like these two strategies that you're sharing it's powerful, it's gold, but it's like with any strategy, if it's not done consistently, you build up and then it just falls. So like what it's like a funnel, right? Like your top of the funnel is a really good strategy. It sounds like the consistency and the back end just isn't really in place. So you're not getting consistent drips out the bottom. That would be agents, sign up at join.exprealty.com. So I think this is good for everybody. And I've gone through this in my sales career and traction career, but what we need to be thinking about is, what strategy am I going to implement? And I think it's a great strategy. I think it's one that you stick to. And I think it's one that if you guys don't have a strategy, this is one that you can implement pretty easily for really no money too. Like, it could be done free. Like Lisa mentioned, getting vendors to buy lunch. And, if you need to get office space, you can probably go to your title company, your lender, they'll open up their conference rooms for you. Coffee shops have meeting space open as long as you spend like $100 and everyone's going to buy a coffee while they're there. So like, this is a really low cost strategy too, but you got to be thinking like, this is the strategy that I'm going to do for the next 12 months, no matter what. If I don't see any fruit in 12 months, then I can reevaluate and maybe try a different strategy. But it can't be like just like I guess a half-hearted attempt. If your goal is to build a big rev share group, because there's so many strategies that work in this, and we're just talking about top of funnel stuff. This is the prospect part. This is the build the list part. Then you got to get good at peaking, presenting, and passing, which Lisa with scripts you'd be great at. So usually most people never get started with the process because they don't have a list. They haven't taken time to build it. So you've already accomplished that. Now you just got to start putting them through the process and stay consistent with it. So I would just like from today forward, Lisa, then we can do another call next June when you got 100+ people in your group. And
I have 200 on my goal. I have 200. 200
right,
is my goal. I read it every night before I go to bed.
Okay.
It's 200. I just wrote this out. And
that's awesome.
being here right now, I feel like I'm having a private coaching call with all these other people watching. So yeah, I feel very excited. And I'm committed, and I feel embarrassed because I teach the law of consistency. And I've been kind of, I do the John Maxwell thing. I sell houses. I have 5 kids. I have, I have a business, I'm like all over the place. So
yeah,
I need to streamline. And I have a business coach that, through the Maxwell team, who's like, you just need to like get yourself into, I have to stop being everywhere. And this is starting today.
That's good news. I have good news, Lisa. You're human, so you deal with this kind of stuff. By show of hands, who's 100% consistent all the time in every area that's important to them? I'm in gallery view scrolling. By show of hand, where's the robots at? Okay, there's no robots on here, so we're all like that, Lisa. And the important thing is, and the way we just get better at it is by staying in groups like this, getting accountability partners. We call them running partners. Having a coach. I just had a coaching call with my business coach last weekend, and he's coaching me like a coach would, obviously. And I'm pacing around my office here, kind of getting frustrated with myself a little bit, feeling silly. Like you just said, I coach consistency. And because I literally said to him, this is what I also coach people on, but it's because I'm human. I need those reminders. Everyone needs those reminders. So it's good to give ourselves grace in that area, but also be like, enough's enough. How do I go from being, 30% consistent in the activity that's important to me, whether it's the gym, whether it's rev share, whether it's your real estate business? How do I get that to a 50%, within 3 months, and then a 70%? And then eventually you can probably get, close to 100% in sales activities where you're super consistent with it. So it's just progress. And So to get to your 200 number, I would just say, all right, so I'm going to do one virtual mastermind a week for 30 minutes an hour. And then we're doing one in office one every month. Like, so whatever a good rhythm is for you, something that's doable, something that isn't going to overwhelm you with based on your current schedule, and just stick to that. And then put a little bit of a plan in place for how you can follow up with those prospects. But you said, naturally, it sounds like you're good at getting on a call with people or having a conversation. And then you ask great questions because you're in John Maxwell leadership coaching. So you're able to have a great conversation with them. And then it sounds like they self-discover through that conversation that they're like, okay, Lisa's someone that I want to follow. She's obviously a very successful businesswoman. She's a leader. She's someone who can help me. I see value in working with her. And then they join. Like, that is, you got everything working. It's just doing more of it. And then that's when you'll get to your 200. Because the key part, and this is something important that everyone needs to hear, until you have 25 people in your front line, you really can't even look up and look around and wonder why your group's not bigger. Because based on the numbers from what I've seen, you got to have about 25 people, 20 to 25 in your front line before you find that one builder that's like you, that's excited, that's going to build it big. So when you only have 10, it's kind of like, well, shoot, I've been here a couple of years. I wish I was farther along. And then these doubts maybe creep in your mind, or you're wondering why it's not working. But it's because you just don't have 25 yet. So hopefully that's encouragement to everybody to just be like, okay, hey, I don't need to worry about having a bunch on my second level, a bunch on my third level right now. I just need to go out, get 25 frontline. And then in those 25, one person is going to be my running partner that's in my group. You can have running partners outside your group. That's great until you have them inside your group. Then you want your running partners to be inside your group, because obviously that's how your group grows. So that's it. I mean, this is just a super, super business. This has been really great, Lisa, by the way. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being
appreciate
honest,
it.
Authentic.
I feel like one other thing that I opted in on the health insurance, and I hadn't done that for a while. And I must say, it's been awesome. And that's a huge thing for realtors. Me being a single mom with 5 kids, I struggled every year as a real estate agent trying to show my paperwork. And, you have to like hustle through to try to figure out what you made and, where you can find your health insurance. This has been consistent. It's been awesome. So I feel like that's another really big one for especially families.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've had agents join just because of the health insurance. Like that's what initially really piqued them to get them on. A couple of questions here. I want to run through those real quick. Kathy Burns mentioned, would you share a template? Did you, when you said you have a template, do you actually have a template for something that you can share?
I do. Yes.
All right. If you wouldn't mind posting that in the group in this thread, that would be awesome. Adam Crossan just affirmed what you're doing, giving away free content that's high value. That's what draws people into your world. And Lisa, what was the name of your Facebook group again?
Scripts Tips. Oh my gosh, now.
Scripts, Tips, and Strategies. Either way, don't.
Scripts, Tips, and Coaching with Lisa Axios.
Okay, perfect. So don't join it. That's her group, but you can look at it from the outside and see what it's all about. Chris Mullenberg says he's been holding monthly masterminds locally for 18 months or 14 months, and it turned into consistent 25 to 30 people every time. Wow. And people are loving it, and they're coming to talk to him now about EXP. Awesome.
In person? Are those in person?
Yeah, put in the chat there. Chris, is that in person? And then Jeff Lewis reminding us of the 4 P's: peak, that's the prospecting part of it; present, pass, and then promote. That's the 4th P that probably doesn't get talked about enough. And promote ties into Shannon's question. So promote is promote the next event, promote the next touch. So you got someone interested in EXP. They've seen the presentation. Actually, they've seen it with you. Don't be sending out videos. Like, that's the old way to do it. It doesn't work anymore. Actually watch the video with them. And then they're kind of like, well, this is cool, but not interested to join right now. The first step is you want to get them on a 3-way call with somebody. whether it be a growth leader, Amy Weaver, or Sean Murphy, or somebody in your upline, sideline, downline, doesn't matter, but a three-way validation call. But if they're like, well, I'm not really ready for that, then you just want to get them to other good EXP videos that you like. Ideally, you have like a partner page that has the videos already on there, or you have like a templated email that you send out that says, hey, here's a few videos I want you to watch. You want to do your best to control the second, third, fourth, fifth exposure versus them going to like YouTube, finding their own videos. For two reasons. You don't want them to get misinformation, one, and second, you don't want them to find somebody else that they might think will be a better sponsor, because that happens too. All right, cool. What would be, Chris says yes in person. We'll have to have you on, Chris, too, to talk about that. So to wrap it up, we're at the top of the hour. Lisa, what is just one piece of advice that you would give to somebody looking to really get started in their attraction journey or just take it to the next level?
I feel like it's the Zig Ziglar quote when he says, the more people you can help get what they want, the more you get what you want. And I feel like that's just been a motto, coming from contribution, being a person of integrity, doing what you say. And I think all of that together, but basically helping other people be better helps you out. And I struggle with that because I felt like I need production to keep my life going. But now I feel like the table's going to turn. I feel it really, I feel it deeply that things are going to turn. And I feel like that 200 is just around the corner.
That's amazing. I think it is too. You're well on your way. You have the foundation built. Now it's time to construct the walls. I'm not a builder, so whatever the term would be for building the walls. And then you add the roof and all
You're
the
a
windows
people
and all that kind of
builder.
stuff. Yeah, there
You're
you
a
go.
people builder. Where do you want me to send the template? Where am I going to put that?
In the Facebook group. So this is being
Okay.
live streamed inside Game Changers Nation Facebook group.
Okay.
Just put it in that comment section would be awesome. Yeah, this group used to be called Builders back in the day. For all of you OGs, this group used to be called Builders, and then it was Go Getters, and then the last and final name for the last 3 years has been Game Changers. So we were the Builders at one point. That was a little confusing though. People were like, what's, builders, are we building houses? What are we doing over here? So, well, cool. This was awesome, Lisa. I think that's great advice. I love that
I
Zig
really
Ziglar quote.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I feel very grateful to be here right now. I feel like 2 years ago, I didn't know how good this was going to be. I mean, I got $1,000 just the other day, just all set, didn't do anything. I got it in my account, and I'm like psyched. And now I want to help other people obviously get that as well. It's amazing. What a gift. It's a gift.
It's powerful. I mean, from having 10, 14 people in your group to get a rev share check with $1,000. I mean, that's powerful. My mortgage when I joined EXP, actually I bought my house after I joined EXP, but my mortgage was $1,200. That pays for a lot of people's mortgages, or close to it. So it's a powerful thing. It's exciting what we're doing here. And the mission from this point forward for you, Lisa, and everyone on the call is just to do more of it so we can affect more lives, live our dream lifestyles while also serving others so that they can achieve the same. So awesome. Thanks for everyone coming on. Again, reminder, build event 23, or you can go to brentgove.com. There's a tab for events, so you can see all the events that Brent does. Tammy, that'd be a good place for you to go to see all the upcoming events for attraction that you asked about. The room block does end tomorrow night. I was on a call with Brent a couple of days ago. They got extended from today to tomorrow. It could be afternoon, could be night. I would just do it by tomorrow morning to be to make sure. Stay here one more second. I'm gonna bring up what Jeff said. Jeff, do you have the link for that by any chance? The State of the Union. Perfect. Jeff's on it. The build event, guys, if you can swing it, man, it'd be so good. Even if it's just you showing up, you just get there. Fly in Monday morning. It starts at 2. fly out Wednesday night if you can get a red eye. If not, you gotta stay till Thursday morning because the event ends at 6. I'm flying in Sunday morning so I can just enjoy Sunday at the water park by the pool, hanging out with you guys. And then Monday is going to be epic. Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be epic. And then I fly out Thursday morning because I don't want to miss a thing. But I would love to get back to my babies a little sooner. But this is the Super Bowl of attractions, so you got to be there. So the EXP State of the Union, guys, tomorrow, Friday. Jeff put the link. It's 4 p.m. Eastern. It's not in the morning. And I believe it's not even the company leadership meeting. I thought it was at first when I saw Brent text me on this. I was like, oh, it's part of the leadership meeting. I believe it's not, because I think leadership meetings are around noon. But regardless, there's going to be some important announcements during that call tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, expstateoftheunion.com. It's going to be Glenn Sanford, Brent Gove, Michael Valdez, and Jay Kinder. I do not know what they're going to talk about, but I know it's important based on the way it was promoted to me. So no, it really is. I'm excited for it. I don't know what it is. I don't want to hype it up, but I'm going to be on it, and I'm usually completely off on Fridays is my goal. So I'm going to be there. So try not to miss it. Jim says 20 minutes long, so it's going to be short. I think there's going to be some real announcements. Well, cool. Hey guys, we went a little bit over. Thanks for being on. Thanks for staying with us the whole time. And we will see you guys next week for another attraction call, and then hopefully at Build. So see you guys.